Welcome everyone to a nail-biter of a game between myself up against World Beater as Nurgle. Now we played in a 4-man tournament yesterday, a part of a Rubber Duck of War's channel. Now we did a 4-man DVD tournament, so everybody was playing, and World Beater is a phenomenal player. So watch out for him in land battles and domination. He is certainly very strong indeed. And he's going to be having 5 units here of the Plague Bearers in the front, including the Regiment of Renown here, which the Exalted Plague Bearers, the Festering Stooges, are going to be bringing themselves to the battlefield. Here with the Festering Gate, which means they do heal, and then also Resurrect Models, which is incredibly powerful, as well as the Gloom of Flies, which actually causes terror on top of that 9 melee defense inclusion, which is very, very strong indeed. So for the Lord Choice, we are going to have the Herald of Nurgle. He's going to be on a Palanquin here with the Children of Nurgle, Arcane Conduit, as well as the Fleshy Abundance, the Stream of Corruption, and the Locus of Fecundity. So bucket loads of healing, and the bad boy has 80 armor here on his chair. He's not super fast, only 28 speed, but he is basically unkillable on this thing. So double Cultist of Nurgle, of course they're going to be having regen, and they're also going to have the nice ability of the Warrior Bane. Negative 8% there on the base weapon damage is quite good up against the Ogre Kingdoms. I think you'd be quite surprised. Also here with the Gate of Nurgle and the secondary Cultist is going to be having the same thing, and the Gate of Nurgle. So more Plague Bearers coming forward. Plague Bearers are incredibly cost efficient. Very, very powerful tools. So for myself, we're going to be going here with the double Stonehorn. So what I want to do is I want to have 2 forces, and I really wanted to abuse the fact that Nurgle do not have much mobility. So the Hunter here is going to be on a Stonehorn on the right-hand side, backed up by Ogre Balls and double Noblars. So we're going to have 2 on top of each other, and then of course the Lord Choice of the Great Maw Magic. Now we're going to be bringing Blood Gruul, as well as the Belly Slapper and the Blood Cleaver, so we can heal in combat when we cast any spells. We're just going to be healing the caster, which is quite nicely. We're going to be having Troll Guts, so we can heal the Stonehorns alongside Bone Crushers, so we can get rid of all of those really tanky, annoying units, and then also extra ingredients. Going to be the same contingent on the right-hand side, 2 units of the Ogre Balls, 2 units of the Noblars, coming in with some Chevrons, and of course the Hunter on the Stonehorn. Stonehorn's going to be naked. I just want big, heavily armoured units that are really difficult for Nurgle to deal with. Now they do have a couple of tools. They do have flyers that can shoot. Also here, Exalted Plague Bearers do have good armor-piercing missiles that, you know, if they do come in quantity, can do some good damage. But Death Heads are quite rare to see in this matchup. They're incredibly expensive and very, very risky indeed. So Stonehorn's going to come forward here. Going to be meeting in the middle. Now here, some quite wise stuff coming from World Beater. He just needs to get into the middle. He's got a bit of a slower force, and starting with the slower force is quite good. It means you get these units to the front line, and then more faster units are going to reinforce. I really like this as well. Spawn of Nurgle coming in with a little bit of mass. Really going to be helped to pin in all those Stonehorns and all the kind of annoying units, really, and they can really challenge quite nicely up against most of the Ogre Kingdoms, as they have really good weapon strength, poison, and there's really not much armor. And that unbreakable status here on those domination points is, you know, so valuable. So we're going to be firing into the middle. Really wanted to hit the Palanquin. You can see the javelins charging forward. Get a bit of a miss there. These things are really not that accurate, but they do have anti-large armor piercing, 440 weapon strength. We can just kind of get away. You can see the cultists trying to charge in. I'm not going to take any unnecessary damage. And one thing here, I'm going to be saving up tickets, and you'll see why in a minute. Going to be spawning here on the reinforcement point on the left-hand side. We're going to get quite a juicy unit coming through. So it should be here any second now. We should get a nice little unit from me. Just going to wait for that to come in. But we are going to have Ogre Balls and the Lord Choice going up here towards Domination Point 1. I do take Domination Point 3 as well. So we're going to be holding those elements. And here we go. We do come in here with the Regiment of Renown, the Powder Guts. So I save up 2,000 tickets to get the boys here with Adaptive Tactics. So they do fight melee combat, and they are going to be losing. They get 24-24, which is rather powerful. Good armor-piercing missile throwing, good weapon strength as well with armor-piercing in melee combat. And yeah, these boys are just incredibly good. Just incredibly good. One of the best units here in the game for sure. They're going to be charging forward with 160 range. They're going to have, I think, additional range on top of the regular man-eater Ogre pistols. I believe it's like an extra 20 range or something. So they're going to be coming into the middle. I just really wanted to spread all over the spawn of Nurgle. You can see waiting quite patiently, having more spawn of Nurgle coming forward. And something that was really good here, especially in our best of 3 between World Beater, you can go check out Ducky's channel. Do feel free to please go check that out. He's a phenomenal content creator. But the patient play coming from World Beater was, you know, something that, you know, only experience can buy. And, you know, he's just waiting patiently here. You can see I'm firing the fun, doing some good damage up against the cultists of Nurgle. He is going to regen, but, you know, I definitely want to be starting hitting some of those single entities, getting that good damage off. Maybe I should have hit some of the Plague Bearers, got multi-model kills, but, you know, he can't really move too fast. He doesn't have the mobility yet, but he is now really getting some poison and the spawn of Nurgle across. We are going to get a bit of healing here in the backside, but we are going to be spraying and praying here with the Powder Guts. They really want to do some good damage. I really want to whittle down the spawn of Nurgle. So get a bit of a pause here. You can see Domination point 1 is going to be certainly in my control, 4 seconds to go. Domination point 2 is going to be in with Nurgle, and then point 3 here. We did send over some Nurglings just to kind of maybe rattle some of the cheaper Noblards, but I do move forward here with the Ogre Balls, and I do have a big Stone Horn and then more Ogre Balls, just kind of protecting. So I've really split my force, and I've, you know, kind of taxed the limit of Nurgle in their mobility. It's really not that high. They can actually bring some really mobile units. You know, things like Forsaken, etc. do have 42 speed. Same here with the spawn of Nurgle. They can really be quite mobile, but compared to Nurgle, it's not even close. It's not even close. The Ogre Balls here, especially the dual weapon, you can see 54 speed. Even the fastest elements of Nurgle are going to be slower than the average of the Ogre Kingdoms. So we do get some Iron Fist coming forward, a couple of shields there for the bad boys, just in case. Well, I brought one just in case we saw some Festering Stooges, but I didn't really think I needed them at this point, so just going to be shooting them here with the Powder Guts. These bad boys will regenerate, but they have to go to full healing before they bring back any models. Now, I do have the dual weapons ready to go. We have more Ogre Balls. He didn't really challenge Domination point 1, so I'm going to get some free tickets there. Domination point 3 is going to be in my control as well. We do see Nurgle trying to fight their way through. Stonehorn's going to be backing off, and what I really like here, he controls Domination point 1, and he has so much like zombie Plague Bearer chaff here in the middle. He can kind of hold off for a century, and now he's going to start slowly rotating on the right hand side. So we're seeing some of the Ogre Balls. We have Noblards coming forward, and then we have the Hunter. He's going to be fighting in the middle. He's not going to be able to kill the Herald of Nurgle, but he's anti-infantry, he is armor piercing, and he's going to be able to fight in the pocket here amongst the majority of the troops. And you can see there's just waves upon waves upon waves of chaff and green poison garbage that has been sent my way. And we do have Noblards coming forward. We have the Ogre Balls ready to go, just in case there's a bit of a Vanguard summon. We're going to be ready here on the pocket. Noblard Trappers coming forward. Big fan of these boys. They can throw those throwing knives across the battlefield and, you know, take down some of the lightly armored units. Now, we do see here the Powder Guts, only at 9 kills. Let's have a look. So, 670 damage value so far. Not too bad. They've been on for a little while here. Going to be firing into the front. The Ogre Balls, they're going to be losing here up against the spawn of Nurgle. I mean, no doubt there. Poison backed up by 130 weapon strength is absolutely no joke. The Lord Choice is going to be nearby, and we'll certainly be getting into hand-to-hand combat. Plague Toads coming with the mobility and the mass is going to be quite good here on the battlefield, but they're going to be key targets for the Powder Guts. Certainly taking these bad boys down is going to be rather helpful. Hunter has been shooting in to lose quite a few ammunition points here, and we are going to have the dual weapons charged at the front and the Gauge of Nurgle. I did quite like this ability, but he actually gets charged down by the Stonehorn, which prevents the summon there, which is you know, rather handy. So he's going to get pushed away, so he's actually going to be away there from where he was trying to summon, so it's going to cancel that, and we have the Plague Toads trying to fight here up against the Hunter, really trying to pin him in. We also get a bit of armor sundering effect here from the Cultist, and I believe we used the ammunition here, so we do actually have dual weapons fighting up against Spawn of Nurgle. No, that's actually quite a bit of ammunition there for the Festering Stooges, so maybe armor sundering here with some Festering Stooges shooting up against the Hunter could be quite nice, but I do have the Lord Choice trying to get a few units around him, and then we're going to be getting some big area effect damage spells. We have Forsaken charging forward, and they're a bit of a nightmare here for the Ogre Balls. Dual weapons do quite nicely, but the rest really will suffer. But over here on Domination Point 2, we're having quite a bit of a push, and I'm going to be holding off just getting as many tickets as possible. So the other side here is sadly not going to be getting any tickets just of yet. I believe you need to get at least 1,000 before you get any sort of advantage. Going to be bolstering here, which is loads of Noblard Trappers. My opponent can't see them. They're going to be hidden. Just getting on the Domination Point. He nearly catches Domination Point 3. I move the Ogre Balls across. He is going to be slowly capturing it, but not too quickly here. And we can see now we get the Noblards on. We're going to be bringing it back into our favour. Dual weapons going to be losing in the middle, just keeping my opponent busy here on the right hand side. You can say the same here as well. We are going to have some Troll Guts healing up against the Hunter as he fights up against some Tojutsu. The legendary Tojutsu is a bit of a nightmare, but we do see the Festering Stooges firing over the top here, doing some really good damage, and that is the best way here to deal with some of these big, heavily armoured single entities. We do see Plague Bearers trying to come in, trying to pin down the Hunter, but the terror is just going to be a little bit too much here, I think, for the majority of the demons of Nurgle. And we do find that the Spawn going to be doing some good work up against the dual weapons. In the back, Forsaken going to be fighting here up against the Powder Guts. Powder Guts are not going to be losing in melee combat, but they have really good armor piercing. Forsaken have great weapon strength. They have lost their Frenzy, as they're going to be going down on leadership, but they'll still shred through the man-eaters. They've only got 40 armor, so any of that weapon strength that does hit is going to be devastating. Now, I'm not really too sure if this is a mistake, but we have one Ogre Ball and 2 Noblards here, just in case there's a bit of a rotation. Yes, I can kind of bolster it a little bit faster, but still, I really wanted to hold that point. 1 unit of the saber tusk coming forward. They have really good weapon strength. 70 there, 25 of that being armor piercing, so we can get through, chase off Forsaken and start, picking up some units on the battlefield. Dual weapons coming forward. A couple of units are going to be breaking here. A bit of a mistake coming from me in sort of the mid stage of the game. My micros really and macros getting really taxed here. I haven't played for a couple of months, and I'm not really sure if that's an excuse or not. But I definitely didn't play very well yesterday. But Noble Trappers here are going to be fighting in the middle up against the Ogre Balls, and it's like there's going to be a bit of a healing here coming forward for Nurgles. They're going to get an Overcast Fleshy Abundance, getting some really juicy healing in the pocket. Noble Trappers just going to be holding on to the point. I'm just buying time now, getting tickets for myself. And in the middle, it's only going to be 1 unit of Plague Bearers. Really not too much. I'm going to be winning this middle pocket. Saber Tusks are going to be getting in there and doing all the good damage. Hunter is going to be doing some good work. And here we go. We are going to get a ginormous punch in the middle. Look at the damage! I love that. I love the spell here. I always forget its name, Bone Crusher. Because everybody uses them more, but I think Bone Crusher is just a very good armor piercing. A little bit underrated, I must say so. But the Spawn of Nurgle, Forsaken coming forward. Really good partnership here. You've definitely seen that. Quite prevalently there in the Tzeentch roster. Of course, you're not going to get the armor sundering, but nonetheless, it's a very good combo indeed. In the middle, we are going to get the Gate Summon in the back, the Summon of the Plague Bearers. They're going to wrap around here. The Saber Tusks actually causing a little bit of gunfire here from the Powder Gut. Still 15 models. Ammunition now has been utilized, so they can move into melee combat. In the middle, the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, they're just going to be hanging out, acting all cool. Going to be shooting some of that meatball outside the skull. Well, we have the Herald of Nurgle in the middle. He's just going to be also hanging out on his Palanquin, not really doing too much. But we are going to have the Cultists fighting here up against the Hunter. Going to be, reducing some of that armor, which is actually quite nice here, especially with Forsaken. These two are the best partnership on this roster, I think. Having the hero backed up by Forsaken just shreds through all these nice big targets with heavy armor. You can see a bunch of Noblars here going to be breaking. Quite a few tools have broken in the backside, and they're going to be returning. These two don't, but you can see there's some Ogre Balls. You'll find out they're going to be hanging around the backside here quite a bit. I do kind of forget about them. A little bit of a new play there from me, but it is what it is. Dual weapons here going to be fighting in the middle. Definitely will get those wrapped around the Plague Bearers and the majority of the other Forsaken infantry. But going to be bolstering a lot of the pocket here on the right-hand side. And what I try to do here, I go, well, there's just so much here on Domination Point 3. I need to force a rotation onto Domination Point 2 from here. I just need to split the forces. I've got 1,700 tickets in the advantage to him, so I just need to make sure that I trade effectively and make sure I can hold the middle. But he's been playing very well, getting back into this, a brilliant rotation. Paladin's going to be fighting here up against the majority of the Plague Bearer infantry, and the Festering Stooges, I have to say, are an absolute flipping nightmare. These things just do not die. They're going to be on the battlefield still fighting, 13 kills. They're going to be up to 1,000 damage value already, and they're still going strong. They're going to be having 72 models, and being a bit of a pain in my backside. Tojutsu coming across, and there's no better sight in Warhammer, I must admit, when you see the Hippity Hoppity coming to claim their property, as we have also the Saber Tusks trying to fight here up against the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Festering Stooges coming across, we do actually have the Slaughter Master coming to have a bit of a butchery over here. He can also heal in combat, so don't mind him getting in there, stroking and doing all the good things. As we get lots of Nobblar Trappers coming across, of course we can Vanguard deploy them here, and I'm just going to be getting them around the corner, getting them onto the point, just getting numbers here and forcing the rotation of the Nurgle player. 4,080 for me, 2,600 for World Beater, and he's put on an absolute performance so far. Stonehorn is just not dying right now. We are going to be having now the Lord Choice fighting alongside the Cultist, who has reached his healing cap. And now we're going to be having the Hunter fighting. Now we do see the Spawn of Nurgle on the point, and we're going to see 1, 2, 3 units from me, made that 4 in the back. So you can see here, just I'm sure Worldbeat is like, oh, that's excellent for me. Logic is going to be having nothing to summon in the middle, and he's got a few units on the point. So yeah, this is definitely a tactical reserve. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But on the middle, we are going to be having Nobblar Trappers. They can get forward, they can shoot here, slow down up against the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. And we do actually summon some Furies. I do quite like this. Furies is a really good cheap roadblock to get forward, to kind of compromise all these cheap infantry units coming forward. We can see the slow going down there, Dismember from me as well, really trying to stop these Plague Barrier units getting on. And we can see we're starting to move some of the Nobblars onto the point, and now we're starting to capture. And this is where it starts to turn in the game. So 4,380 tickets for me, 3,200 for my opponent. And it's getting to the point here that we're very closely needing to get a triple cap. And we do see the Powder Guts going to be fighting here up against the Spawn. We do manage to take them down, but yeah, I must say Spawn with their unbreakable status and poison is very powerful. We do have some Saber Tusks. I do actually move the Ogre Balls down and round. We didn't quite see that, unfortunately I did miss it. I think this is actually going to be the Ogre Balls that came down and round. But they came for a little bit of a sandwich here to try and kind of type the units. These rampage for absolutely no reason. Don't quite understand that one, but they rampage there for no reason, and they're going to be going to fight in the middle. Something's going to be dying here. I think the Festering Stooges, a really, really nice pick with that Terror. The Gloom Flies is certainly very powerful here on the domination point. Hunter's still going to be fighting. I do believe my Lord Choice is broken. Yeah, he's going to break here in the middle. He does return, and I believe I'll try and get a nice quick heal for the Hunter. So we are going to be desummoning some units. We are coming forward with the Ogre Ball Iron Fist. Just a little bit of extra melee defense and some bronze shields. Trying to get them into the middle here just to fight just a little bit better. Good armor piercing there for the Powder Guts. They'll be fighting up against the Cultists. And you can see a few units are going to be rotating. And my bad boys in the back, I have seen them. The Stonehorn returns as well. And now we're going to be coming on to Domination Point 3. So 4,730 up against 3,900 for my opponent. And it's starting to come to squeaky bum time. And for any of the guys that know about the Dwarf, squeaky bum time is pretty much all the time. So it's going to be getting pretty damn close here on the battlefield. Ogre Ball is going to be fighting. Iron Fists are on the point as well, and I'm slowly starting to capture the point. And this is where I'm sure Wellbeater's like, no, please, I fought so hard for these domination points. And here I am, just, slowly taking over with, Mass Noblast, like, haha, I have the high ground, Anakin, as we come forward here with more dual weapons. We do have the Lord Choice is kind of getting compromised here by the Furies, but at this point, don't really care too much. Going to be healing here with the Hunter. I believe we got a secondary heal there. And, the Cultist is just going to be, hanging around and kind of acting all cool. So we do manage to capture now a little bit more back with Nurgle. So we do throw pretty much the majority of all of Wellbeater's troops on the point. But it's going to be getting so close here. 5,000 points going up against 4,400. Excellent game here coming from Wellbeater. It was a really, really enjoyable one. It was actually game one of the final. And I went 1-0 up. So I won't ruin any more for you, so you guys can go check out a Rubber Ducky Wars channel and hopefully try and see all of the other amazing things that happened there on that day. A couple of throws from me, a couple of good games as well, and yeah, I must say, this was a really, really enjoyable event, and Wellbeater played incredibly well, I must say so. I really don't think this was a good matchup for Nurgle, and I think Double Stonehorns just make it a bit of a nightmare. So we are going to be having the Great Maw Magic, 1,450. And the MVPs, without doubt, 2,500 and 2,680. So you're going to be somewhere in the region of about, let's say 5,200 damage value from the Hunters. 340, 350 with 680 and 540 there for the Ogre Balls, coming in with quite a few chevrons throughout the game, which is rather impressive. 0 there for these Noblars. These two just didn't fight for the entirety of the game. I do wonder maybe if he had pressured onto Domination Point 3, maybe he could have done it. I'm not too sure. Maybe he would have been stretched a little bit too thin there. But we are going to have 160 there for the Noblars, with 205 for these as well. So coming in for the Herald of Nurgle, 512, 2,100 for the Festering Stooges. These bad boys might be, if not joint best, maybe the best regiment for now. They are such a nuisance to deal with. And, they really bolster Nurgle, I must say so. Coming in with Terror, good missiles, they're incredibly tanky. They're just a nightmare. I don't know what's going to be better between those and maybe the Powder Guts. Powder Guts also at 2,300 gold cost. Value, is, it's rather impressive. We are going to have 815, 900 for the Cultists. They're also a nightmare with their regen. And we are going to have 405, 1,070, 1,100 for the Plague Bearers, 1,700 and 680. Plague Bearers incredibly cost efficient. So for the Spawn of Nurgle, 770, 1,200 and 550, with the Forsaken coming in at 680, 370, 430 and 615, 800 and 730 there for the Plague Toads, with 220, 0 and 110 there for the Nurglings. For my back reinforcements, 430, as well as 450 there for the Ogre Ball dual weapons, 770 and 930. 501 there for the Iron Fists, with 700, 330, 240, and we didn't manage to get this one on, but good work there from the Saber Tusks. 280, 640, 270, and 340 there from the Noblars. Really like them on this map. There's some good Vanguard deployments. Also, when you spawn them, your opponent can't see them. They don't know where they're going to rotate to, so it's quite nice to have a really high value unit, 160 models in that unit to kind of rotate and be a bit of a nuisance left, right, and center, because your opponent just really doesn't know where that's going to be going. So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this game. It was a super close one indeed. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below with all your thoughts and opinions as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of you guys have been doing that and checking out my channel, and it's been really, really awesome. So thank you so much for all of the continued support. It really, really does make all the world of difference. Other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.